Spencer?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm Dr. Steinberg. Please, take a seat.
Action.
So what brings you in?
I've just been unable to sleep for a while now.
What do you think the effects of it are?
I've been a bit more irritable. Just easier to anger with people, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. You could be producing less levels of melatonin, or it could be due to a different effect, and maybe different disorders. Let me check the DSM-5. It's the DSM-5, which is a manual of mental disorders, and it would basically help me figure out if you have any underlying conditions that would affect your sleeping. Let me just check it real quick.
Do you have any other symptoms you think I should know about?
I've just been generally sad, languid. I've lost interest in most things.
Yeah, it sounds like you may be suffering from major depressive disorder.
Well, I'm going to refer you to a psychologist named Dr. Weinstein, and I'll see you later.
Thank you.
It's nice meeting you.
You too.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Canon, how are you doing today? My name is Dr. Weinstein. I'm a psychologist at this facility. How are you doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Dr. Weinstein, I'm a psychologist at this facility.
Oh, yep, sorry. I have a sensory neural hearing loss. It's a bit of damage to my ear and just hurts my hearing a bad bit.
Well, how'd you get that damage?
Well, I listen to music at higher decibels, this is, again, a bit of damage, some Metallica, some EQ there, that type of stuff.
Yeah, big music fan?
Well, I don't listen to anything really most of the time. Just helps take my mind off things.
So, what are you trying to take your mind off?
I just feel like stressed with work, friends. It just lets you disconnect a bit, you know?
Yeah, are even problems with your social relations?
Yeah, it's like weird. I don't really feel as active with other people as much nowadays, yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of the sociocultural approach to society. So I like to analyze how your relationships are going, how your social interactions affect both you, and how those interactions shape your behavior, especially towards new reactions. And that can really help with therapy and stuff like that, and analyzing how your social life is going. So tell me about that. How is your social life going?
Well, I can't really talk to family anymore, I feel like I really don't know them as much. I can't really start conversations anymore, and when I actually have somebody approach me, I just feel, angry almost at times. It's weird.
So you're feeling a bit disconnected from other people?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you do interact with others, how do you feel that goes?
I feel like I want to try, really, I do. But once I actually start talking to someone, they start talking back, I don't know, it just collapses quickly, I can't really just converse with them properly.
Are you struggling to converse with them, or you feel somehow angry or upset with the conversation?
It's I feel a bit angry sometimes that they're even trying to talk to me, I just don't really want to be around other people.
Yeah. Okay, so as psychologists, we have terms pro-social conduct and anti-social conduct. And so what that means, basically, it seems self-evident. Pro-social is what benefits social relationships and is good conduct with others, and anti-social is, of course, the opposite. So that includes aggression, verbal abuse, dishonesty. Do you think that any of that applies to you in your situation?
I've been having these issues a lot.
So you have conflict with others, you think?
Friends, family, all the time,
And what does that include in regards to your behavior? What do you do?
I just get irritated with everyone, I try to leave people, just walk out of the room. If they don't really just allow me to, just keep on talking. I just, get angrier and angrier.
So when you feel that anger during a social interaction, does that come out in that very social interaction, or do you hold on to that anger and maybe feel it at other times?
Sometimes just try to hold it in and keep it to myself, but at other times it can just be bottled up and be unleashed on somebody else.
So you think that you hold on to your anger a lot often?
Oh yeah, it's a bit of an issue.
And then that anger, then you take it out on other people, you would think?
I do.
Okay, so that's what we know as displacement, where you harbor these negative emotions and feelings, and then at times they can come out onto other people that are unrelated to those emotions. So when you say that you feel those emotions with other people, are those people that have made you feel that anger, or maybe unrelated people that are being affected by that anger who really didn't have anything to do with it?
Oftentimes it can just be random people I meet,
Okay.
So during your typical social interaction, would you say that you adhere to social norms and just standard conduct? So say greeting people, maybe holding the door, offering to help people. Would you do that?
I don't, but it's just like me. I don't like want to go against it, but I just do.
Hmm. So you don't intentionally do that stuff to hurt people or anything like that?
Oh no.
So you say that you do these things where they might not be, they might not facilitate social cohesion and stuff like that. Do you do these things because you may feel that you're above other people and you don't need to do that? Or is there some other reason?
I don't think so, really. Most of the time, honestly, I think I feel lower than most people.
Really? Okay. Okay, so I'm definitely going to rule out narcissistic personality disorder. It really doesn't seem like you right now. And the thing about feeling low, can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, whenever I get up in the morning, I just think I'm just gonna be like failing for most part of my life. It's like everybody else is just going along fine, and I'm really down. I don't really think I can do anything.
So do you think that your outward projections and how you interact with people could be a result of how you feel? Maybe you try to compensate for that?
I could see that, I guess, yeah.
Right, so that's what we know as reaction formation, where you try to project a different appearance or feeling about yourself than what is truly inside to try to fit in more and feel like, more of a, I use this word not to be rude or anything, but more of a quote normal person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that you outwardly project yourself and interact with other people, do you consciously do that in an attempt to fit in?
I'm just trying to conform, I guess. I don't really want to just, stick out for the most part. I'm just trying to be everybody, like everybody else, I guess.
So you want to try to conform, but you do have that conflict where you have these reactions that you can't really help, right? And that harms your social interactions.
Yeah, it's a bit self-defeating, I guess, but it happens.
So I want to circle back to what you said about feeling low about yourself. Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. Whenever I'm around other people, I just see them always doing well, Like they have fun with conversations, they're doing good at work, academics, and I just feel like I'm not really the same, not really worth as much.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like everybody else is more successful than you?
From what I see.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think that is? Do you have any specific problems that you can identify that make you feel that way?
I don't really have much motivation to do anything most of the time, and whenever somebody tries to help me, I just can't really accept it all that well at all.
Now, I apologize, I've already asked you this, but do you think you could expand a bit further into why you're feeling low? Are there any specific reasons, do you think?
It's been the same since I was a kid, really, it was a bit of a rough childhood, I guess, for me. I had issues with my family at times, but the thing is, honestly, I can't even remember most of it. It's each day just meld into the other, really. And I can't even think of it linearly for the most part. It was hard though, really.
So you have a difficult time bringing up those memories?
Oh yeah, I do.
Now, is that do you believe that's a conscious effort, or you just can't really think too much about those?
I don't know, it just doesn't come up in my head.
Mm-hmm. So I think it might be that you could be repressing certain memories. If you did have this traumatic childhood, then your brain could have a defense mechanism where it wants to make you forget about those, to not bring up any bad feelings. Do you think that might apply to you?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. It's been great meeting you, Mr. Canon. I believe I've done all I can to help your situation. I think that I know somebody who's better fit to treat you specifically and what I think you may be suffering from. So I'm going to send you to a good friend of mine, Dr. Breton Tilp. He's another psychologist. He's great. All of his patients have had good experiences. It's been great meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Spencer Canon.
Oh, hi.
Nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Brito.
Nice to meet you, too.
Come on, sit down. Nice to meet you, Spencer. So pretty much Dr. Weinstein sent you here because he thinks you might have major depressive disorder. So I specialize in the humanistic approach of psychology, where I pretty much try to see how you can improve on yourself and overall better yourself and become the best possible version of yourself that you can be.
I've had therapy sessions before, though. That's the thing with Dr. Weinstein, as I'm sure you know. It didn't really do anything for me. Maybe medication could be more helpful.
Well, what I believe you're referring to is antidepressants, which you take those if you have problems with your neurotransmitters, which are chemicals that regulate your mood. And while antidepressants could fix that, I think counseling therapy would work much better for you because we can go into the problems that might have caused this instead of just taking medication. We could actually work on yourself.
Yep.
So does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm just wondering how long this is going to take exactly, like all in all.
That's a good question.
Excuse me?
Just 1 second, sorry. So yeah, what were we saying?
Oh, yeah, I just was wondering what the therapy was that you were talking about earlier.
That's rational emotive behavior therapy. It's pretty much where we look into some irrational thoughts that you might have that can be affecting your daily life, and we try to fix those thoughts and work on yourself. So what we're going to do with this therapy is talk about how your thoughts can affect your emotions and how right now your thoughts are harboring negative emotions and negative things about yourself, and how we're going to work on you thinking more positively about yourself and setting goals for yourself to make you feel more good about yourself. So are there any thoughts in specific that you might have that you believe could be irrational?
I don't know, I'm like anxious a lot, you know? Whenever I just think about my own life, I feel like I'm not really in control of it myself. It's just stuff like that.
Is there any certain examples you might have about that?
I mean, yeah. Whenever I plan something out, I just immediately think I'm not gonna be able to do it, you know? I put something on the schedule and I immediately think I'm gonna fail, I can't do this.
So that's something we call self-fulfilling prophecy, where when you think that you're not gonna be able to do something, it affects your mindset, and then you will actually not be able to do that. With now knowing that, is there any examples that you can think of that relate to this in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I had a test recently for school, and I was so worried during it. It just kept going on in my mind. I was gonna fail. Eventually, I was worried about it the whole time so long, I just didn't even get to write down any answers.
So does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
So before we run out of time, I want to show you another test I have. It's called the Rorschach test. I'm going to show you this image. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you see it.
I'm sorry, I can't really see that all that well. I had some damage to my cornea when I was younger. It affects the way light reflects off of it. You know those hover balls that you had as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up damaging my cornea, so I can't really see all that well now.
Sorry, Mr. Canon. It seems like our time's up for today. See you next week.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
Spencer, nice to see you again.
Oh, you too.
Come in. Sit down. So how are things going, Spencer?
Oh, not too bad. I've been doing all right so far.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, one thing. Dr. Weinstein told me that I might have a repressed memory, but honestly, I think it might just be that I have a bad long-term memory. I mean, I can't really recall anything all that while back.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, most of the time, the only things I can really remember are just really big periods of anxiety or stress, nothing else.
So that might just be your flashbulb memory, where you can remember certain traumatic events, but you can't really remember events before or after that happened. Just really what happened, the traumatic event that happened. Do you have any examples of that you can tell me?
Oh yeah, there was this one time that...
Hey, what you doing, Spence?
Hey, Bobs. I'm not really doing much right now. I'm just wondering though, me and my friends were going out later. Is it alright if I'm a bit later than curfew?
No, why would you even ask that?
But I've always followed the rules, you know? I mean, I've never really done anything wrong.
I did a great job keeping a roof over your head, so I don't know why.
My real dad would never do this.
Why I oughta?
That sounds like to me it could be an authoritarian parenting style, where your parent was very strict with rules, really wants to be in control of things, and doesn't really communicate well with their child.
That sounds about right.
What did you mean when you said that this is not how my real parent would act?
Well, I was actually born with a fetal alcohol syndrome. And so my actual parents put me up for adoption, and the ones I was referring to, they're my adoptive parents.
Can you tell me more about fetal alcohol syndrome?
Sure. If a mother whilst pregnant is actually actively drinking, it can lead to a child being born with certain deformities and developmental dysfunctions.
How are your relationships with people other than your father?
Well, I don't really have friends per se.
Really? No one else?
Well, there was this one time though that. Hey, Sabrina, I know we've known each other for a while, and I was hoping you to go out on a date with me.
Ew! No!
Spencer, you're looking kind of pale. Is everything all right? George, clean this stuff up.
I'm so sorry about that. It just, like, whenever I think about something like that situation, I would just vomit.
You know, that could actually almost be a form of classical conditioning where every time you remember that moment, you associate with nervousness and embarrassment where you actually throw up.
That could be.
I'm just wondering, what compelled you to ask that girl out?
Well, everybody else was, dating at that time. They had a boyfriend or girlfriend. I thought maybe I should too, just to fit in,
So I'm looking through my notes here, and to me that sounds like social learning theory, where pretty much you see other people doing stuff, and you copy them to try to fit in. Saying earlier you have a problem with your long-term memory, but you actually are doing a really good job of retrieval and like thinking of different memories that you have and giving me details about it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we have a lot of good information, and I think we can start working on your self-concept.
What's that?
In psychology, self-concept is a person's description and evaluation of themselves, including their physical and psychological characteristics, qualities, skills, and roles.
I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time. 'Cause when you're standing oh so near, I kinda lose my mind. It's not the perfume that you wear, it's not the ribbons in your hair. And I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time. I don't mind you hanging out and talking in your sleep. Doesn't matter where you've been, as long as it was deep, yeah. You always knew to wear it well, and you look so fancy, I can tell. I don't mind you hanging out and talking in your sleep. I guess you're just what I needed. I needed someone to feed.
You all right?